Alright, hello, I'm silverkyle, and now it's time to look at the 2018 Sony E3 conference, which, if I'm being honest, I really wasn't looking forward to that much because they told us ahead of time that they were only going to be showing a few games. And to me, E3 is always better when you show a slew of games. I don't like focusing on just one game for more than 5 minutes. Like, 5 minutes is way more than enough that I need for any game. If you're going to sell me on a game, I need, 2 to 3 minutes of generally what's going to be happening in the game and showing all the different kinds of gameplay and missions that you kind of have, just showing like a tidbits here and there of it instead of like one entire mission that lasts 10 minutes. They said that they were going to do this because they were going to have a much deeper presentation so that they can really dive into it and, show us exactly what these games are about. And they were saying like something, I can't remember the exact wording, but something like a very deep experience. And I'm like, you get that when you play the game or you watch a Let's Play. You don't do that to sell the game. I feel that that's the secondary thing. I watch a trailer of a few minutes of something with tidbits of all the different things that you can do in the game. If I'm not sold at that point, then I look at like a Let's Play or a review or something that shows me much more than just the tidbits that I was seeing. A lot more in-depth review. But I don't need that at E3. E3, I want like 50 games like Microsoft did. It was frustrating. So they started it off with, and it was also really weird the way they did everything. They would have, they had people live that would go into one room and then they would have to move into another room to see something else. And in between they would have music, and I'm a big music fan, and video game music is freaking awesome too. But in a conference, I just always feel that it's so awkward, and I don't know if the actual people that are there live actually enjoy it. They cheer, but man, I think everybody's there just to watch games. That's what I'm there for, like watching the thing. And if I was there live, I still would just want to see games. That's what I'm there for. Maybe talking with the developers a little bit and kind of explaining where they're coming from, because I get that that's their time to shine a little bit too. So I do like that. I do like hearing them talk a little bit about one game, showing the game, and then moving on to another one without wasting a lot of time. But this, they took so much time. They would show like 10 minutes of one mission, talk for a little bit, and say, okay, and we're wasting time now because everybody's moving to the next location. It was so awkward. I don't know what the heck they were thinking. They felt like Nintendo, honestly, at this point. Just completely changing E3 with their Nintendo Directs, which, anyway, I'm just upset. Because Sony has been doing such a good job lately in the last few years. Every E3 blew it out of the park. And this one, I was like, there wasn't anything that I was really excited for. Overall, this entire E3 has felt like that, unfortunately. But I'd say that out of the top, the big three, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, Sony did the worst. Because they only showed a few games. So they showed The Last of Us Part 2, and they showed some scenes with the main character getting kissed to another girl. That's fine. They show some gameplay for 10 minutes of a mission. And to me, it looked like the same thing. It's the sequel. If you really have to show 10 minutes of a new game, let it be something new that we have no idea what it's about. Same thing with the Shadow of Tomb Raider. I was sold on that game as soon as I saw like a little bit of the gameplay. I was like, that's exactly what I expect from the sequel. There's not really that many changes. If there would have been a crazy amount of changes, then it's, I guess, okay. If you completely overhauled the game mechanics, you have to do that. But to me, Shadow of the Tomb Raider plays exactly like Rise of the Tomb Raider, plays exactly like Tomb Raider by the looks of it. The first two games felt the same. Same thing with the Uncharted games. They all kind of feel the same. And so, 10 minutes of The Last of Us, while it did look good, I expected it to look good. And I wasn't blown away. It's what I want. It's still going to be awesome when I play the game, but I just couldn't get super excited for it because I knew what it was going to be about. And 10 minutes was just overkill on this. And then they talk, and then they had like a panel of people talking. And I was like, the other thing too is that they said they wanted more in-depth, right? I just feel that's Sony saying, we have a few games this year, that's it. We have no idea what we're playing, or we have nothing that we can really show in the future, or we don't have enough games coming out this year that we normally would have. That's the kind of gist that I got from that. Even Xbox, they showed games that are coming out later, like Gears 5, Gears Tactics, Halo Infinite. I feel those games aren't coming out this year, but at least they showed us stuff. That's what I wanted. I want to know what's coming, even in next year, even in 2020, 2021. I'm fine with waiting for games for a long period of time as long as they come out. I'm fine with building the hype. Anyway, Last of Us 2 looks good. I'm gonna get it. Didn't need the amount of time that it got. I feel like 2 minutes at that point I would have been sold on the game. Then they showed Ghost of Whoops, that's starting the trailer. Ghost of Tsushima, I believe that's how it's pronounced. That is a new IP, as far as I know. I've never heard of it before. That, if you're going to show a game with 10 minutes of a gameplay with the same mission, this is where you do it, because I've never heard of this game, so I wanted to see a little bit more about this world. Looks pretty good. I'm interested in it. Probably not day one, but I will be looking at this and looking at reviews and Let's Plays down the road, because it's a new IP. But at E3, that's not what I want. Then they showed Control, which reminds me of maybe a little bit of like Quantum Break. It looked okay. I'm not really excited for it. It's just there. Then they showed Resident Evil 2 Remaster. A lot of people were freaking out about that. I've barely played the Resident Evil games. I did play some of them back in the day at like a friend's house on the PlayStation 1. And I have played a little bit of Resident Evil 4. I actually just want to go through all the Resident Evil remasters. That's what I want to do. So I'm kind of excited for this. They showed more of Kingdom Hearts 3. And they had Pirates of the Caribbean. And it looked so good. Kingdom Hearts is looking like a fantastic game, going from all these different worlds. Even the Frozen, which I really don't care for, the world itself looks awesome. But Pirates of the Caribbean, I wanted a game just of the pirates that had nothing to do with Kingdom Hearts. It looked awesome. Even my girlfriend was looking at it, and she's already sold on Kingdom Hearts, but she was like, that looks so good. I would love to play a game just about the Pirates of the Caribbean. So I'm hoping that with, Sea of Thieves, there's another pirate game that I think Ubisoft is working on right now, and with it now in Kingdom Hearts 3, there's enough for them to say, okay, Pirates of the Caribbean, we are making a full-fledged game in this series, and it's going to be awesome. I want a game where you're an actual pirate and you're going around doing pirate things, much more than Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is a bit of a different thing because it's more about the multiplayer aspect, and like there's other people there that you're fighting up against and you don't know if they're going to attack you or not. I enjoy that too, but I want just like a single player Pirates game. Then they showed Death Stranding. This is the first time I've ever seen anything. I've heard about the game, never seen anything. I have no idea what to think about this game other than my curiosity is piqued. I'm interested and I want to see more of it. This was one of these things where I would have liked to have seen more, but I'm glad that they didn't, because I think that I'm going to see the reviews for it first, see what they give the rating for them, and then go from there. And if it's really high ratings, I think I'm going to pick it up. Not on day one, but I think I'm going to pick this game up because it's so different and unique, and I have no idea what's going on at all. Really, really interested in this. He had a baby. What the heck was going on with this game? That was cool. They showed a Neo 2 trailer. Never played Neo. It's not really my cup of tea, so I know people were freaking out. Spider-Man looks awesome. This is the Spider-Man game that I have wanted ever since Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2, I even liked the Spider-Man on PS1. That to me was just, at that time, just such a good game. Then we had Spider-Man 2 from the movie from 2004. Another excellent Spider-Man game, and now this is where I've wanted Spider-Man to go ever since probably the Arkham series. The Batman Arkham series were exactly what Batman needed, and I feel that this is going to be even funner because he can climb on walls and he can swing, and the city itself isn't going to be like Spider-Man 2 2004, where every block looked the same. Everything's going to look different, or at least much more detailed, like Grand Theft Auto, but you're Spider-Man. There was one part where he's just like running up a wall or something, or like things are coming at him and he's just jumping around, and I was like, it's like platformer with Spider-Man at. I cannot wait for this game. I really cannot wait for this game. That I was just completely blown away from. They showed another game for VR that is made from software. I have no idea what it's about, though. I'm not sold on that game at all yet. We'll see. But From Software is a pretty good company. Then they showed a little bit of Black Ops. They showed some Destiny 2 stuff. I didn't really care about either of them. And a Rick and Morty thing that looked absolutely boring. Rick and Morty can be funny at some times. I'm not the biggest fan of that at all. Everybody seems to absolutely love that series. Mr. Meeseeks is pretty much the only thing that I liked, and I liked it once because it was just so random. Everything after that, and like rewatching it, even I'm just it's not my kind of humor. But yeah, I was just, and that was pretty much it. That's all that they showed. So it's pretty much a lot of things that we already knew was coming. I think Ghost, for me anyway, because I didn't look at any previous things that, like, in the past month I tried to stay away from video game stuff. I think the only thing that I saw was the Pokemon thing, because I just really needed to see that once I heard that was announced. Everything else we pretty much heard about. I guess I think this might be the first time that we've heard of Control. It's the first time I've ever heard of it, but I'm not even interested in it. Last of Us, I'm getting probably day one because I love the first one so much, and it's Naughty Dog, so I trust them. Ghost, I'm going to look a little bit more into because that does seem interesting. Probably not day one, but I will pick it up eventually. Control, not going to pick up. Resident Evil 2, I'll probably pick up. Kingdom Hearts, I'm already sold on. Like, we've seen so many trailers of it. And each one of them, they are adding different things, but still, I've been sold on it since, like, years ago. Death Stranding, I'm going to have to hear reviews about. And Spider-Man. Spider-Man's probably the biggest one out of this that I'm getting no matter what. I pre-ordered it last year for like $50 in Canada, which is $30 off because our games are normally $80. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to that. But yeah, not a lot of games. Kind of just not any big crazy announcements either. Just an okay, very mediocre E3 conference, which is really too bad and unfortunate. And I'd say that Microsoft and Nintendo have beaten it. So I'd say it's in last place. And honestly, Bethesda, which is a publishing company, did a better job at introducing things and having a better presentation than Sony. I could almost argue that Bethesda did a better job, in my opinion, because I really do like a lot of the things that Bethesda is working on currently. So anyway, there you have it. What did you think of Sony's E3 2018 conference? And tomorrow I will do Nintendo's. So thank you all for watching. You've been bearded in. Beardage.